Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to 2022 Fsts Frontline Supervisor Training School graduation. Guys, clap it up for yourselves. It's still towards the beginning of the year, but so far this year, UPS has graduated quite a few frontline supervisors from FSTS, and today we are here to celebrate the graduation of 16 more. So guys, I want you to know that I'm proud of you. We've been through a lot over the past 2 weeks. We've talked about a lot, we've learned a lot, and we've all got to gain new friendships. You worked hard, and I want each and every one of you to pat yourselves on the back. But before you do that, I want you to remember something. It doesn't end here. It doesn't end in this conference room in those nice chairs that you're sitting in. If you guys want to go back and be effective leaders out in your operation, if you guys want to go back and change the game like we talked about in class, it can't end here. And I want you guys to remember these 4 words. Keep that same energy. So throughout class, we talked about a lot. We talked about accountability and the importance of not only holding your people accountable, but doing what good leaders do and looking in that mirror every single day and making sure that you're holding yourself accountable as well. So after this class is over, after this graduation is over, and you guys go back out into your operations or your different areas that you're in, 6 months from now, when it comes time to hold your people accountable, and most importantly, when it comes time to take that moment and look in the mirror, which could be a hard step, and ask yourself the questions that pertain to holding yourself accountable, I want you to remember everything that we talked about in class. A lot of you guys spoke about the different things that you hold yourself accountable for. So 6 months from now, when it's you and that mirror, and you're deciding, should I take a look in that mirror and evaluate myself and hold myself accountable for whatever it may be? Remember our talks in class, and I want you to keep that same energy. We talked about responsible communication and how communication isn't just talking. It's a lot of us can go out there and talk. We can talk to our people, but what's most important is, are we listening? Are we opening up our ears to receive that feedback and hear what people really have to say? So when you go back out into your operations a year from now, and you face those barriers that we talked about in class that prevent us from being able to responsibly communicate or responsibly listen, I want you to think about everything that we talked about in class. And I want you to keep that same energy. I talked to y'all yesterday about comfort zones and staying out of your comfort zone. So after this class is over, after you guys receive these certificates and leave this conference room, when you get back out into your operations, I don't care if it's next week, next month, next year, 5 years from now, when you start to feel comfortable, when you start to feel complacent, when you start to feel content, when you start to feel like, oh man, I've got this is easy, I want you to remember what we talked about in class. And I want you to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I want you to remember how you all agreed how important it is to step out of your comfort zone, because all that does is it makes you stronger and it makes you better. So like I said, no matter how long it is from now, if you find yourself getting comfortable, I want you to think back to FSTS, and I want you to keep that same energy. We talked about the differences between a leader and a manager. We were all promoted. We were all given a title, a management position, that's given. But leadership, we talked about how that's earned. You earn that by the way you exhibit those leadership skills with your people. Leaders inspire, they empower, they motivate. Most importantly, they build relationships. So when you guys go back out into your operations after this graduation, and the time comes to either exhibit those effective leadership skills to get a following, to get people to do what you want them to do, or you can just say, you do that because I'm the boss, because I told you to do that. Remember back to FSTS and how we talked about how to get people to run through that brick wall for you. It's not by just using your management title, it's by using those leadership skills and building relationships. And I want you to remember those moments, and I want you guys to keep that same energy. So the journey you guys are on is a tough one. There's been all kind of people that's come to class and told you all that you guys have the most important position at UPS. You're frontline supervisors. You're literally out there on the front line each and every day dealing with the people. But I want to let you guys know that to me, you're more than that. You're emerging from this class with the tools that it takes to be effective leaders. Now, I want you to get something. I didn't just say you're emerging from this class as leaders. Just because you came to my class every day, just because you hustled to be on time every day, just because you raised your hand and you volunteered, just because you're about to come up here and get these fancy awards, accolades, and certificates from me, that doesn't make you a leader. This class gave you a toolbox. We gave you tools to take back with you. And what's most important is that those tools, they can't sit by the wayside and collect dust. We talked about how leadership it's a practicable skill. You can practice and you can learn, and the more you do it, you get better. Say, for example, I told you guys I play basketball. What if I decided that, you know what, I want to go to the WNBA? And I go out, I go to the gym, I hit the ball court, I work hard for about a month, and then I take a break. I fall off. I don't hit the gym for a couple of weeks. Y'all think I'm on track for going to the WNBA? If I go out and I hit that gym, I grab that ball and I practice every single day and I give it my all, like Captain said, I go out and I try. Even if I know I might fail, I might not make it to where my goal is, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna dust myself off, and I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna keep trying. And eventually I'm gonna make it to my goal. Same with the tools that I'm giving you guys. You can't go out into your operations and decide, I'm gonna leave those tools beside today. They can collect some dust. Maybe I'll get them out tomorrow. Maybe I'll get them out next week. It doesn't work like that. When you guys go out each and every day, you have to pick up that toolbox and you have to put it on. And you have to practice using those tools. And you have to learn how to use those tools. And you have to get better. And guess what? Once you get comfortable, you find a new tool. You step out of your comfort zone and you master how to use that tool to be an even better and effective leader. But that's not going to happen unless you do what? Keep that same energy. So throughout this class, I have had the help of a lot of people to put it on, and I just want to give a few special shout outs to the audience. I want to thank all the members of the Air District staff that came through and gave their contributions to the class. I'd like to thank Captain Norman Seawright, who always comes through on graduation day and shares his wonderful thoughts and gives his contributions to the class. I'd like to thank Jeff Simonik, our Air District manager, for coming to the class and sharing his thoughts and speaking to you guys. And I'd also like to thank my partner, who you all will see in a few, our FSTS coordinator, Jonathan Mills. This partnership is definitely evolving into something wonderful, and I look forward to seeing what other magic we can make for the rest of this year. So it's been a journey, guys. I'm kind of sad it's almost over. Are you guys? Yeah. But guess what? It's not over. Like I said, each and every one of you have my phone number. Each and every one of you have Jonathan's phone number. Each and every one of you have Captain's phone number. Look to your partners. Look to your neighbor. You guys have made partners throughout this class. You guys have made not only friendships, but you've networked a partnership of connections that you can use throughout the rest of your careers here at UPS. So if you ever need somebody to call, to vent to about something that just went wrong in whatever job or area that you're in, you have a partner. You have a friend in all of us. If you want somebody to call to celebrate in the success of something that you just accomplished in your areas, because I want to hear from each and every one of you on the big things that you do. I want to hear from each and every one of you how you have gone back and you have changed the game with the tools that we gave you. You have partners to reach out to. So never forget that. That's one of the most beautiful things about this class. So I look forward, I expect for each and every one of you to do great things moving forward in this company. And with that, we will start FSTS graduation. So I'm going to introduce our graduates. Throughout class, they had the opportunity to earn some special awards and accolades, so you all will hear me introduce those as well. We had a test in this class at the end of the class, just like any other class does. So you will hear me announce who received the perfect test score. The class voted on who came to class dressed for success, who came to class dressed not just for the job that they had, but for the job that they wanted. So that's the Dress for Success Award. You're going to hear me introduce the person who came to class kind of in a shell, maybe a little quiet in the beginning, but who emerged throughout the class and everybody heard her loud and clear. You're going to hear me introduce our most improved student in the class. You're going to hear me introduce our Legacy Speaker Award winner, That's that person who came to class and gave great contributions, kept her hand raised throughout the class, talked well so much that she influenced almost everyone in the class to vote for her, to represent us at graduation as our Legacy Speaker Award winner. You're also going to hear me introduce our Group Project Award winners, as well as our Group Competition Award winners. You know, just like anything, I'm a pretty competitive person, so we had a competition in our class to see which group could earn the most amount of points. It actually was a tie, so you'll hear me announce quite a few of those, but you'll hear me announce the group competition winners as well. We'll have one more award, and that's our Knowledge Bee winner. We stood everybody up in a circle and asked the review questions from the class, and the last man or woman standing was our Knowledge Bee winner as well. So, all right, to start it off, we have Destiny. Destiny received a perfect test score.
Hello, my name is Destiny Ayers. I work in the 2-day freight facility, and I work for Taylor Eldridge, Tony Meeks, and Steve Merchant. I've learned a lot of valuable things from this course, but I think the thing that I will take with me no matter where I go or what I do, UPS or otherwise, is this. Develop your people, instill in them the tools that you've learned to be successful, hold them accountable, and inspire them, and motivate them to do better each day. It all starts with us.
Next up, we have Patrick.
Hello, my name is Patrick Zunder. I work in 2-day feeder dispatch. I work for Michael Cravens, Eric Benson, Sarah Brangers, and Steve Merchant. I learned a lot of great things in this class, and I guess if I had to just pick one of them, it would say communication, and just the importance of it, and just how communication can build relationships with employees, with other coworkers, and just how it can make an office great and how it can make it function smoothly. Thank you.
Next up, we have Corbin. Corbin received a perfect test score and was a member of the group Fantastic Four, who not only won our group project competition, but tied for our group points competition as well.
Hello, my name is Corbin Gurley. I work 2-day Wing C inbound shift. I work for Cameron Russ, Tom Schaefer, and Gary Kelly. And out of all the things that I've learned throughout this course, I would like to take back accountability, not only hold myself accountable, but as well as my employees.
Next up, we have Alex. Alex was a member of the group Missing Pieces, who was tied for the group points competition.
I'm Alexandria Hoffman. I work in 2-day Air District Security, and I work for Robert Steinberger, Pam Gable, and Dente Norris. And I plan to take away from this is communication and confidence.
Next up, we have Brooke. Brooke received a perfect test score. Brooke also was voted amongst her peers as coming to class every single day, dressed for success. Brooke was a member of the Fantastic Four, who won our group project competition, and Brooke was also a member of the Fantastic Four, who was tied for the group points competition. A lot of awards there.
Hello, my name is Brooke Williams. I work for 2-day Great Lane. I work for David Risewalk, Elaine Atkins, and Gary Kelly. And what I'm taking back from this class is the confidence to lead and develop my people.
Next up, we have Carrie. Carrie received a perfect test score.
Hello, my name is Carrie Barksdale. I work for 2-day Wing Bravo. I work under Parker Hendricks, Justin Rebrink, and Gary Kelly. In this class, I'm going to take back accountability and confidence.
Next up, we have Noah.
Hi, I'm Noah Reeves. I work in 2-day Wing Delta. I work for Shelby Leister, Tom McPherson, and Gary Carey. one thing I'd like to take from FSTS is definitely the leadership, development, and communication tools given to me.
Next up, we have Charles.
Hey, I'm Charles Lee. I'm in 2-day ramp. I work for Anthony Stryker, Chris Harris, and Brandon Fortin. What I'm taking back with me is to be more personable with my employees.
Next up, we have Zach. Zach received a perfect test score.
Hello. Hello, I'm Zach Hall. I work in 2-day Grade Lane. I work for Rashawn Williams, Elaine Atkins, and Gary Kelly. I think the biggest things I want to take away from SBSTS is being consistently consistent and also relationship building.
Next up, we have Rick. Rick was a member of the Fantastic Four who won our group points competition, tied for it, and also won our group project competition.
My name is Rick Rayom. I'm currently working in 2-day load planning. I work for Chris Holsconnect, Mike Moody, and Brandon Fortson. And what I'm looking forward to bringing back to my area from FSTS is learning how to build those relationships with people that I may not know as well to help promote an inclusive environment and promote diversity of thought.
Next up, we have Kendall. Kendall was the 4th and final member of the Fantastic Four who was tied for our group points competition and won our group project competition.
Hi, my name is Kendall Ferguson. I work in 2-day ramp, and I work for Corey White, Kurt Evans, and Brandon Fortson. And one thing I want to take away from FSTS is positive energy. Every day we came in here, everybody had positive energy, so I want to take that back to my crew. So.
All right. Next up, we have Isabella. Isabella had a perfect test score, was our Knowledge Bee winner. She was a member of the group Missing Pieces who tied for the group points competition, and she was also voted amongst her peers as being our Legacy Speaker Award winner.
Hello, my name is Isabella Malatesta. I work in 2-day Wing E. I work under Joshua Jordan, Joshua Riley, and Gary Kelly. One of the things that I'm going to take back with me to my area is building relationships and prioritizing the connections while also holding my people accountable.
Next up, we have Kim.
Hello, my name is Kim Markham. I work in Wing A PSC. I work for James Hadley, Carly Chafin, and Chris Pedley. And one of the things I want to take back with me is to bring a bigger and a better energy to my group.
Next up, we have Michelle.
Hi, my name is Michelle Munden. I work in 2-day Wing Charlie. I work for Bethany Glasscock, Tom Schaefer, and Gary Kelly. And what I plan to take back with me is communication.
Next up, we have Kayla. Kayla received a perfect test score, was the 3rd and final member of the Missing Pieces who tied for our group points competition, and she was also voted by her peers as being the most improved throughout class.
Hello, I'm Kayla Krieger. I work in Wing Bravo Outbound. I work under Parker Hendricks, Justin Weebrink, and Gary Kelly. And I think the main thing I'm going to take away from FSTS is to be a leader first over being a manager just because we're in that position.
There's one other person who was not able to be here with us today, but I definitely wanted to make sure I included her. So the last person to graduate from our class, her name is Taylor Corbett. She works for 2-day Wing Alpha, and Taylor received a perfect test score. So with that, I'd like to take a second and I'd like to bring somebody up. I'm going to bring up the person who everybody voted on, that they felt came to class, spoke very well, kept their hand raised, gave great contributions, and obviously she was heard by each and every one of you guys. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our Legacy Speaker Award winner, Isabella.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'll be reading the legacy found on page 32, beginning with, "We saw too that we had to build people." We saw too that we had to build people. We realized that we didn't know very much ourselves, and that if we were to succeed, we must have others of ability to help us. And the only way that we could be sure that we knew what a person was capable of was to work along with that individual and see strong points as well as weak ones. Another good reason why it became advisable to select managers from the ranks. And that way, we could better judge a person's ability to advance. Through these experiences, we learned how to get along with people, learned how to make them our friends. We gave them an opportunity to become stockholders, to share in what had been accomplished and in what we had hoped to accomplish from then on. This legacy speaks on how UPS promotes from within and the benefits it carries. By promoting our supervisors and other members of management from within the fence line, that shows that this company cares about the growth and development of their people. When thinking about this legacy, it reminds me of the push and pull method. As we frontline supervisors are out in our areas, working next to our people, being teachers and coaches, we are also being mentors. We have the opportunity to be developing the next frontline supervisor, the next full-timer, and beyond. But with that comes great responsibility and drive. Jim Casey said it himself, and the only way that we could be sure that we knew what a person was capable of was to work along with that individual and see strong points as well as the weak ones. There is a responsibility in our roles to build the relationships and trust within our people, so that when they look at us, they see more than their supervisor, but someone that took the time to be their coach, their counselor, and their friend. With that, to my fellow FSTS graduates, I challenge you. I challenge you to go back into your areas with your head held high and to take all that you have learned the past 10 days and apply it to your everyday. Be bold in your abilities and be the mentor to your employees and that role to your partners. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Mills. I am the 2-day FSTS coordinator. I work with Lauren. And I just wanted to come up and just give some last thoughts, a last encouragement just before we conclude the graduation. I think as I was thinking about this FSTS class, one of the words that really stood out to me for you all was the word growth. I think at the beginning of the 2 weeks, I wasn't really sure. I didn't know how it was going to go. You guys are a little bit quiet, which I think is okay. But over these past 2 weeks, Lauren and I have had the privilege and the honor of seeing each one of you grow and really flourish and blossom into something really beautiful. I truly believe that in this room right now, there are some of the next great visionaries, some of the next great leaders, some of the next great innovators of UPS. I really believe that, but it doesn't stop here. Just reiterate what Lauren said at the beginning of graduation. It doesn't stop here. You can't allow yourself to leave from this room. It's super easy to go through FSTS and get to the end and you're excited. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna go change the world. And then you get out there and you just kind of fall back into what's comfortable, fall back into those old habits, those old patterns that we worked on, that we talked about. You can't let that happen. As you leave this room, you've got to stay encouraged, stay motivated, keep driving yourself into that place of growth. Every single one of you raised your hand and said there's at least one thing within UPS that you want to see changed, that you want to see growth in, whether that's within yourself or that's within something else that's outside of you. Every single one of you has something that you want to see change. And so you've got to be the driver. You've got to be the one that's pushing that change. Because nobody's going to be able to see the things that you see. Nobody's going to be able to bring the gifts that you bring. Nobody's going to be able to bring the skills that you bring or the personality that you bring. So you've got to be uniquely you. You've got to be uniquely you, and you've got to be the driver of those changes. So that's my encouragement to you, is to never give up. Never give up. Don't let the operation beat you down. Don't let circumstances beat you down. Don't let what's comfortable beat you down and make you discouraged. Don't you ever dare get discouraged. The moment you start seeing that in yourself, you just step back, you take a moment, take a deep breath, and you say, no, I've got this. You remember FSTS. You remember this moment. The way that you feel right now. Man, I can change the world. And you keep pressing forward through those challenges, through those hindrances, those roadblocks. Everyone may not always be on the same page as you, but that's okay. That's just one of those barriers that you got to keep pushing through. You got to keep driving through. So never give up. Never give up. Always keep pushing forward, striving to the next thing. Never let yourself get stagnant. Let yourself always be a student of life, if you will. Always learning, always growing, always pushing to the next level. And so with that brings us to a close with today's FSTS graduation. Go ahead and give yourself a clap.